Good morning, everyone. Uh, it's a nice morning. Uh, there's been a lot of talk here in Clovis about housing, affordable housing, and some years ago I went to work at a company, and people were asking me, "How can you afford to live in Clovis? You must be rich." Well, most people like me uh, that didn't have a good job inherited their houses. And but for years, there's been families here in Clovis that that group that came here in the 40s, the 50s, and the 60s and bought a house or property for the price then. And now, well, we're in 2025. These properties have, they've gone up in price. So many people, Hispanics and African Americans and people that don't have a lot of money. That's why we can live here, because we've been here for years and years and years. And so uh, uh, affordable housing has become a big issue here, because uh, apartments that used to at one time go for $300 a month are now going for 2 grand a month. And and things have become pretty bad as far as living and paying rent, especially if you're on Social Security or you're on some kind of government assisted income. So things are difficult, especially here in Clovis. And there's been several lawsuits. The city of Clovis just lost a lawsuit where they need to provide housing at a low cost for people. We'll see what happens with that. But still, the city of Clovis to live here. It's a lot more expensive than other places, and and so that's why we you see a lot of people that don't have good jobs living here. It's because people like me, we've lived here all our lives, and uh, and we're not going to sell. People like me and other people, it wouldn't make sense to sell your property, and so that's why real estate is so difficult to find that's reasonably priced. Most of the I live in Central Clovis, and most you'll notice they're building houses outside of Central Clovis, but most of those homes are they're out of reach with 400,000, 500,000, and up and over $1 million. So it's that's something to keep in mind if you're moving to Clovis. If you Google Clovis, uh, you'll uh, uh, you'll find a lot of real estate people doing videos and moving to Clovis and the Clovis way of life, and you're gonna love it here, and they talk about the farmers markets and events that the city of Clovis does downtown. But a lot of that is done to bring money to Clovis. Uh, Me personally, we have a rodeo here in Clovis every year. I never go to that rodeo, and same as many other people that I know. We don't go to the rodeos. We don't go to the farmers markets. We hardly even go downtown Clovis. I go downtown Clovis for a walk, but I rarely spend any money there except to go to the barber shop. So, I mean, it's all a matter of opinion and how we live our lives. You know, uh, Many real estate people tout downtown as being Clovis. That's not really Clovis. Clovis is Shaw Avenue, and Herndon, where you can go to Walmart, the supermarket like Vaughn's and Save Mart and Walmart marketplace and those type of places. But Central Clovis, like downtown Clovis, that's just for hardly anyone goes there. There's no reason to go there. There's no markets. There's no drugstores. There's nothing of importance there. there's antique stores and a few restaurants and and some antique shops. You know, if you're looking to buy antiques, but in reality, there's nothing there. For a long time, downtown Clovis was struggling with trying to get people to go there and spend money. So this is this conversation is just on the cuff. I don't have a piece of paper that I'm reading or anything like that. I'm giving you what I think, and as a long time resident, I'm here because my father and my mother came from South Texas, and they were farm workers, and they went from place to place to follow the crops, and I had an uncle that came from Huron. He came to Huron from a town called Mercedes, Texas, which is South Texas, and many Hispanics here in Clovis, that's where they're from. They're from South Texas. If you're around in Clovis and you ask folks, hey, where are you from? And you'll say, well, I'm born here in Clovis, but my family's from Texas, or most likely, once in a while, now the way times are, they might be from Mexico. But there are many Tejanos. Tejano music is a big deal here, Norteño music. Here in Clovis, in my neighborhood, it's not uncommon to walk outside and on a summer evening and hear Norteño music, or with accordion music and the taconazo and all that. It's common. If you go to North Clovis, where they're building the new homes, you won't find that. Interestingly, I had a neighbor here. I think it was very funny. He was my neighbor. He goes, hey, Steve, he goes, I bought a house. And he told me in Spanish, me compré una casa. That's nice. You bought yourself a little house. Yeah, we're doing pretty good financially. And we're going to sell the house here, and we're buying a house in somewhere outside, a newer house. And he used to throw big parties, with accordion music and invite, tons of people and have birria in the backyard and all these things. And so it's funny, he moved to a nice, middle class neighborhood, and I thought it was really hilarious because one day he threw a big party and had the big speakers and all that type of thing, and guess what? Someone called the police on him, and they told him, you can't have these parties here anymore, and he screwed up. He sold his house for I think 100,000 or something, and that was the time when all the real estate prices went sky high. He lost money. At one time, his house, that little house he had, he sold it for 100,000, and someone bought it and sold it for 300,000. When the real estate prices went sky high, you couldn't even buy a house, and so I always found that hilarious. I personally, you have these homes in North Clovis. I would never buy a house out there. If I had $500,000 living here in Clovis or Fresno, I'd move to closer to Sanger or West Fresno out towards Carruthers. You can buy yourself an acre of land with a nice house for the same price that you're paying, what you're paying out there in North Clovis or East Clovis. These homes, and you're paying $500,000 for a house, and the backyard is tiny, and you can only park a car or two in the front of your house. It doesn't make sense. So, my advice to many of you, if you're coming to Clovis, don't buy one of those homes. You can be patient and look for an older home that has a big backyard, that has a good-sized garage. Hopefully, you can find a place where you can park your boat or an RV. You can park 3 or 4 cars if you have them. Where you can work on your car and change your oil if you need to without the customers complaining that, you have an old car in your front yard. Because we all know life situations happen, and if you're rich and that's your lifestyle, you want to live in Hardin Ranch or Alta Sierra Ranch, those homes out there, Wawona Ranch. That's up to you. I personally would never buy a home out there. It isn't my lifestyle. I like older homes. I like listening to accordion music. It doesn't bother me to go outside and someone has the radio full blast. I'd rather have a house with an alley. You won't find that in the newer homes with an alley. And so I guess we're all different. I've lived here my whole life in Clovis. And if you have a comment or a suggestion, I I would I would appreciate if you would click like and make a comment on my video. I'm doing my best to make videos on Clovis and based on my life and my background, and we all have different backgrounds, so that's my story. If you have any comments, please make them. Have a good day. Hey, thank you.